them. Boys and girls, I'm feeling really frustrated right now because a lot of you aren't listening to the directions, and you know, I would appreciate it if you could turn it around and sit quietly. And a lot of times kids do respond really well to that, and they will turn it around. Another reminder, collaborate at team meetings about specific student concerns. So it's important when you meet as a team, always bring up student concerns that you have. Don't, keep them hidden. Bring data of strategies that you already tried to implement in the class. Be prepared to speak about observable behaviors and time frames when the behavior occurs, and bring academic data as well.
And just quick side note on the teaching voice, that's so key also, because a lot of the students that we work with come from a difficult background. So if you use the angry voice, that's something that they're probably already immune to, and they're not going to, they're either going to continue reacting in a negative way, or they're just prone to it. So it's just become the normal voice that they're used to. So if you start speaking in the low tone teaching voice, maintaining yourself calm, that's something they're not used to, and they're going to probably react in a more positive way with that.
All right. It's important to always keep a safe class climate. I mean, students should be using no higher than a level 3 voice, so they should be using an inside conversational voice. You shouldn't hear children screaming in the classroom. Students should be sitting in their seats or on the carpet. You should know, obviously, where the students are at all times. They should seek permission to get out of their seats. Students should always be actively engaged in the lesson, eyes on the teacher, asking questions, actively participating, sharing what they're learning. The teacher should always be monitoring and circulating around the classroom. Even if I'm in guided reading with a group of students and other children are working independently at Writing Center, occasionally I'll get up and walk over to Writing Center just to make sure that you know what's going on at all times. And students are to remain in their assigned area during teacher directions and direct instruction. And here are some student expectations for classroom behaviors. Like I said before, it's important to teach, model, practice, and reinforce. So for transitions, a lot of us use the teacher, the teacher will give a signal, and a lot of us will use the clap, and the kids will respond, we'll turn off the lights, or I know pre-K uses 1, 2, eyes on you.
Yeah.
Students will also stop. Students should stop, look, and listen, and you should reinforce those students who are following the directions. Oh my goodness, I love how Alex immediately, his eyes are on me, he's ready to go. They should listen for teacher direction, follow teacher direction, and student transition behaviors. They should be walking in the classroom. There should be absolutely no running, no talking. Hands and feet are to themselves. On their rug seats, it's very similar. They should be sitting in their assigned seats, sitting crisscross, straight and tall. Their hands should be folded in their laps, and their eyes should be on the speaker. Their lips are quiet. And you should always reinforce students who are sitting appropriately.
Yeah, once again.
Student expectations for classroom behavior. Again, transitions.
Do you want me to go?
Oh wait, I think we just did this one.
So student expectations for classroom behaviors. Again, it's teach, model, practice, and reinforce. I'm sorry, in the morning it's a little busy around here. So table behavior should be students should be in their assigned seat. Sitting straight and tall, eyes facing to the speaker and lips quiet. This is great practice for them. So when we do have a guest speaker, they already know what they need to do. Students should not be using material until the teacher has instructed them to. And we should always be reinforcing the students to sit appropriately. Again, once we let them slip and we're not consistent with them, they will continue to display the negative behavior. Even if we let it slip one time, they'll continue to pick up on that and just keep displaying that. It's a lot easier for them to display negative behavior than positive if they're already in that realm of things. And for centers, quiet whisper voices, a constant reminder for them to be using the indoor voices. Share and use materials appropriately, and listen for the teacher's directions and signal for cleanup. Clean up quickly and quietly and put the materials in the assigned spots. This is very important because of the because how everything's so strictly timed as far as like for lunches and things like that. We want to get them in and out, and get them into their centers and out of their centers and cleaned up as quick as possible. and then the teacher gives signal and students to move to their next center. They have it all listed out on their folders, but and it's a constant reminder at first, but then they become, adjusted to it, and they already automatically know what center is which day and all of that.
Last one. So it's very important to set goals for students as well as the class. A lot of times I'll have a class meeting with, the whole class, and we'll set a class goal. For example, we will walk quietly in the hallway, or we will raise a quiet hand to speak. And our goal will be 10 class points, so we'll all encourage each other to get to that goal. And for students who are really struggling, I'll set goals with them. I'll sit down with them one-on-one, and the children really love working towards these goals. Encourage students to give coaching to friends. A lot of times, especially with the younger ones, they'll be tattling on friends. But rather than tattling, I always tell the kids, I say, give coaching once to your friend, and if that friend's not listening, then raise a quiet hand and let the teacher know. But for example, if a child says, if a child's bouncing around on the carpet, I always say to their friends, give him coaching, say, can you please sit quietly? I can't hear what the teacher's saying. And the children love giving coaching to one another. Another thing that I use with the kids are I messages. So I really encourage, especially the younger ones, to solve their own problems independently before telling the teacher. So for example, if a child says, you're being mean, or, we hear a lot of that, or she said he's not my friend, I'll tell them to give the child an I message. So I don't like when you say I'm a crybaby or when you're not my friend, because it makes me feel sad. So please don't say it anymore. So it's important to include the I, the because, why they don't like it, and the so what will be the results of that. And character is key, especially with the younger ones. It's so important to always reinforce manners and remind the students to push in their chairs, say thank you, say please. Character really is key in helping these children develop and become successful. So attached to this PowerPoint will be actually downloadable books. And there's caring, sharing, and getting along, conflict resolution, creating a bully-free classroom, fresh approaches to problematic behavior, which includes the I message, positive talk for better classroom management, and the caring classroom. And these are extremely helpful books.
They are very helpful.
I know Christina ended up printing the books and has now a binder of all of the books, so she can refer to them as she pleases, but they are very helpful. So take a look at these after the presentation, and we hope you enjoyed.
Thank you so much.
And any questions, don't hesitate. We're always here.
Definitely.
So